So
That's good.
who are we out here with today?
Ansi.
Ansi. Spell that for us.
ANSI.
Okay, nice to meet you, Ansi.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Where are you from originally?
So I'm from right outside the city, in Delco, but like literally right outside. So I spent half my life in Delco, scattered around, and then scattered around in southwest Philly.
Okay, all right. How old are you?
I'm 29 years old.
Okay, very young. Let's go down memory lane, all right? Let's go down memory lane. Paint us a picture of your childhood.
All right, my childhood to me at the time was very loving. I found out it was kind of abusive later on in my life, physically, but like it made me this hard-headed creature. Kind of like my father, right? But I try to take the good from my parents, and when I can say something that they have said, I think it's funny, you know what I mean? Like a saying, you know? But overall, at the end of the day, I love my parents, so my childhood was very scattered, if you will, emotionally.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you grow up with your mom and your dad?
I did, both of them at the same time, which is fortunate.
Awesome.
My parents were older though than most people, like they're pushing 70, and like my friends' parents are like 20 years younger, so a totally different kind of lifestyle too.
What about brothers and sisters? Do you have any?
I'm adopted, but I have no brothers and sisters with my adoptive parents, and I don't know my biological parents, but I might have seen them on the internet shadily.
How, you know, that's, you have to talk about that and you smiling, I gotta give you, you know, I gotta give you a big up because that's, you know, emotional.
It's just part of my life, and like, I felt like a lot of the kids in school would be like, oh, I'm adopted, and like tell everyone. Like, I just kept to myself and I felt normal. I'm like, my parents are my parents, you know, that is what it is.
Gotcha.
Luckily, I'm biologically Italian, but like, I'm culturally Italian. So like, my life was led in a way, you know?
Got you. What are some favorite childhood memories you can think of?
Besides like having fun on my own, climbing trees, doing dangerous, weird shit, exploring abandoned buildings, when I was like really young, I actually liked to talk to my grandfather about World War II. He was in the Battle of the Bulge. He liberated concentration camps. He was everywhere. He was part of like the time signature bombing, like artillery that led to the Battle of the Bulge, you know, retreating the Germans.
Deep.
There's a lot of lost postscripts about it though, honestly, and I have some of my grandfather's writings, and I've seen a lot of interviews from like other older people, and I was considering like actually reaching out to other content creators and maybe putting together some postscripts.
Yeah,
that's a feat though, not for right now, maybe when I get at home with a desk.
Right. So let's talk about school. Paint us a picture. What was it like in middle school and high school?
So technically I have an 8th grade education. Technically, like that's when my education stopped. I went through alternative high school for being bad. But yeah, I was in class with like 12-year-olds, so like I was always defending the kids, and like I had a science teacher who used terms in the wrong context, like osmosis, just to like sound smart, and I like called her out. I'm like, I called her out, and basically calling her out, she was like, oh, I was just seeing if somebody would catch that. And like that bothered me because these were kids who were unfortunate, like, and really could attain knowledge, and it's fucked up that, you know, these people were just, they weren't educators, or they weren't teachers, they just taught, like, they're like home moms, I don't know.
I know what you mean. So what was the highest level of education you completed?
8th. I mean, technically, like I said, I graduated, but I did not learn anything past 8th grade.
Got you.
But I've taught myself.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for touching the
no,
mic.
it's all right. Sometimes we gotta teach ourselves. We
You
can't
got
wait
to.
for people, right?
The internet is everything.
YouTube and all
Do
those
not
other
take
places.
internet from your children.
You heard that from her. She's right. You know,
If you do, they won't learn.
Facts. Okay, so let's fast forward. We out here in Kensington. What brought you? How long have you been down here? Matter of fact, in the Badlands.
So honestly, I've been living pretty good, and I feel kind of selfish about it. But it's because I'm doing well for myself. Like, I am homeless. I live in a shelter, but I am getting my housing together. Something I thought I never could do, ever. And I'm doing it. And like, I come down and dabble, and I like my friends here, you know. I used to be a full-blown addict, full-blown, like, terrifying, you know what I'm saying? And now, like I said, I just dabble, and I intend to continue to just dabble.
Okay. So what substance are you struggling with out here?
I've been using heroin. I mean, honestly, I don't think there is heroin, but dope. Whatever the dope
Fentanyl,
man
right?
gives me.
Okay.
Which is pretty stupid.
So basically.
Yeah, tranquilizer, basically, or just straight fetty. But it's been trank.
And how long have you been using that for?
Oh man, it's been like a good, at least 3 months at least, I would say. But dabbling, that was interesting. But dabbling would be like, I come down every few weeks. You know, not every day. I don't like doing it alone either. I used to love doing it alone, but I don't want to die. You know, that's why I'm dabbling.
How were you introduced to it?
So I used to take Percocets a lot, but when I was growing up, I was 22 years old. I got my first job at Wawa. It sucked. I worked 16-hour shifts and would party all the time. I don't even know how I slept, honestly. I have no idea. But my I had an older friend, right? He's an old guy, but you know, not weird or nothing. Just genuinely we're friends. So basically he was doing asbestos inspections. So then I started doing that, which led me to exploit Bedford's law in math. So I was able to get a job immediately. So my first call to my first place in Delco, I was like, I want to work for your company. And then I went in for an interview and they were like, yes, please work for us. So I did that for a little while. I fractured my spine. I did not know at the time, but I was going through a lot. So it was a lot of pain. I ended up having to quit and do a different job and then quit again, you know, use to work, work to use. But yeah, it was really bad then. It was Percocets, and you'd think that that was good, you know? And honestly, it's better than fentanyl. But back to the man who pretty much put me on and taught me what I knew about asbestos inspections and shit like that. He didn't turn me on to heroin. He felt really weird and bad about it, but he, you know, that was my first exposure.
Okay, got you. Now, the first time you did it, do you snort, smoke, or shoot?
Snort.
Okay, how did it make you feel?
Good as fuck, but tired as hell, because then I had to drive home and it was kind of scary.
Right under the L.
Right under it, man.
Go ahead.
I've seen a woman fall at Huntington Station into the tracks, and I was like terrified for her. And then she jumped up like Superman.
Wow.
I was like, is she an alien?
That's what the drugs do to people.
Yeah, right? It was incredible, actually. Like, I was about to run and help this woman, you know, but she didn't need no help.
Oh, she woke up.
She was like,
thank God. So now, currently now, you started out snorting. Do you still snort?
Not at all.
You on
You
the
know
needles
why?
now?
Because it doesn't do a damn thing. Because it's not heroin, right? Do you guys feel similar? Because I remember I snorted like basically a bag. I'm like, why don't I feel anything? That's not right. I haven't done this in so many years.
Gotcha.
But yeah, shooting it, I loved shooting it when I used to do it.
So you
and
don't
it's
do
the
it no
only
more?
way it works now.
You don't
no,
shoot
I do.
anymore? Or you still shoot?
I do. That's the only way I'll do it.
When was
I
the
won't
last
snort it
time?
or nothing.
Got you. When was the last time you shot up?
About like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, 10 minutes. How
Right?
long?
I don't know.
Yeah. How long can you go in a day without using? How many hours?
I don't get sick because
Wow.
I try to dabble as little as possible.
She's a sporadic user.
Thank you, sporadic user.
So how many bags would you say you use every day?
Used to?
Average.
13 in
And
one
now?
spoon.
Wow. 13?
I know, it felt like I was literally loading a gun and shooting myself.
Have you OD'd before?
Not then, but now, yes. I have literally died to the point where my chest was broken and I couldn't get out of bed for 8 days in a hospital.
Wow.
It was really traumatic, actually. And then the other 2 times, cakewalk.
So you had all these bad experiences and you keep on getting a second chance at life. Why do you keep
My
going back
9
to it?
lives are running out, and it's really weird that I still am here doing this, right?
Wow.
I think it's more due to the circumstances I'm in, like being homeless in a shelter. Like, yes, it's the good life. Some people do not live in a shelter, but it's hard to have an addiction and live in a shelter. So it's understandable. Sometimes, man, I just get beaten down and I'm like, I just want to be numb, and I'm as numb as I can get. So,
Right.
but you know, I have found some friends and stuff, and it's more than just sporadic using, I guess.
Got you.
I'm always excited to see my friends when I feel like sporadically using.
Right, we have to stick together, right? So
Of course.
what do you do for work?
Honestly, I can't work anymore, so I'm working on my SSI, getting that filled out. That's going to be taking time because, let's put it this way, either way, your health is a full-time job, always. So my full-time job is managing my health, making appointments, and giving myself a case for my SSI.
So is that how you support your habit? Through SSI?
No,
How do you support your habit?
through my food stamps.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's really hard though, because food is so fucking expensive these days. And like where I live on Lehigh, they up the prices because they know we live there. So like I go without eating sometimes because I don't eat all meat either. And my shelter serves like really gross shit sometimes. And I'm not trying to sound like a diva here, but like it's bad, and like
Jail food?
people know.
Or is jail food
I
better?
prefer jail food because at least they give you something you can eat.
So you have been incarcerated.
I have
How many times?
once as an innocent person for an entire month.
A whole month?
A whole month in jail, innocent.
What happened?
That
What-
fucked me up. But you know what? If I was using at the time, like the cops tried to pretend to say I wouldn't have been able to make it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have been able to make it through that experience.
Got you,
I
got
would have
you.
lost my mind. My marbles would have been gone, man.
Right. So you're in a very toxic environment, very dangerous, killings, ODs,
People stabbing each
assaults.
other, bottles,
Right.
crazy shit every night.
So you've been out here, what has been your worst experience that has happened to you or that you have seen?
Nothing much out here, fortunately. Yesterday, I almost risked getting assaulted by a giant guy by throwing a cake at him because he was like pushing on some woman. But that didn't happen, so whatever. I just threw the cake, all right?
Okay.
It was a good cake though, so fuck that guy. No.
So you don't do dates or anything? Okay.
That's something different. I mean, like, I know typically women do sex work if they choose to, and that's totally fine. I support that. I think there should be a safe way for women to do it, but men like to control the narrative and the money, and that's kind of fucked up, including the police. So you really can't get out of that unless you have yourself set up, you know?
Right.
But yeah, it's weird to say, I guess, that I don't do sex work. But in my active addiction, where I was using to die at that point, like I was like, I'm going down.
Right.
You know? And I would always scrap wire, work like a man basically, because that's all I knew. I would do random gigs, electrical work, landscaping.
Right.
Like I said, scrapping wire from jobs. Like I've pulled wires that were worth $1,000 and
Yeah.
like probably fractured my back at that point, if not slipped my disc.
Gotcha.
Anyway, yeah, I fucked my back up so much because I was like listening to bad advice. Bad advice is always there's nothing worse than bad advice.
Right.
Like, take a Motrin and go to work. I did that, and I ruined my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really ass backwards. Bitter people like to give bad advice to young people. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that, I guess.
So, we about to wrap things up. What all have you lost due to your addiction?
Money, love, unconditional love from a longtime partner, potential children,
Do you have
stepdaughter. I hope that my ex isn't watching this.
Do you have kids?
I do not. I've had to make difficult decisions. Randomly, because I'm gay as fuck, like, but you know, but being in the state that I was, where I am, I literally had to think it down to the minute, and I knew what I had to do, and I made difficult decisions. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
I love you.
I love you.
What keeps you going every day?
Fuck if I know.
Okay.
But you know what? When I was trying to get off of my addiction, I had to talk to myself differently every fucking second. I had to say to myself, whether I believed it or not, I love myself. Sorry.
That's all right.
I love myself. My friends love me. My family loves me. Over and over and over and over and over again in my head.
Okay. Do you stay in touch with your family?
I just started reunifying with my parents.
Okay.
And it's good because they're old. My mom's pushing 70, like, and I have been thinking since I've been alive, like, fear of death of my parents and like losing them. So now I'm like getting up to that reality kind of, and I just like spending as much time as I can with them, even if I'm just in the house. Sometimes that's good enough for all of us, you know, all of us.
If your family were to come to Kensington to visit you, would you welcome them?
I'll tell you something. Recently, there was a day that I got like revived from Narcan, literally like twice in one day, and that ripped me inside. Like, that felt bad. I'm not used to that. I've never been Narcan and like been revived. So yeah, right, it sucks. Like I said, like, I've died the other time. Like, it was different. It was an AED machine. But I called my mom crying, and I was like, Mom, if I stay down here any longer, I'm gonna fucking die. And this might be the last time I speak to you. And I said that because I didn't know if she would care. But I was surprised because even my mom don't drive. My father does, and he's the one who doesn't want to be around me, you know. But they came and got me immediately, and I would.
That thing is loud.
But yeah, I felt the love, and I never understood how that could happen, but it did, and I've been keeping that momentum.
Okay.
You know, not the dying part, but I want to be around my parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get off topic and we done, okay?
Absolutely.
What's your zodiac sign?
Cancer.
Yo, shout out to the Cancer. Show your sign some love. What are some of your favorite foods?
Ooh, Alfredo.
Okay. when was the last time you had some?
I know, it's a sauce. I eat condiments. No, but I don't know, Domino's pasta bowls are good.
Okay. Got you.
But like, my parents are Italian. My mother would never eat that shit. I've eaten the real shit, you know, but for the basic shit, that's a good shit.
Understood.
$6 shit, you know.
Got you. When you was a little girl, what do you want to become when you grow up?
Whew. I didn't want to become a woman. I mean, I'm non-binary, so I don't really identify with each, but I wish I could be a fucking astronaut and I want to be a space-bearing person.
That's cool.
Dying on this planet at this point seems suffocating. Like,
Right.
you know?
Okay. What are some things you love most about yourself?
I love that, this is gonna sound so strange. I love that I'm autistic because it gives me traits I wouldn't have otherwise and abilities I wouldn't have otherwise. And I have the positive more positive from it than negative. So it's nice to be able to care for others in many different ways.
Gotcha. Okay. What's your favorite season of the year?
Fall, if it exists in the East Coast anymore.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know. I like the flannels. I like being able to wear, you know, what I'm wearing right now. So, whew. Random. I'll go through anything and pick out the gold. I'll take something ugly as shit and wear it, and people say it looks good. So this is the brand of Sacrifice. It's from the manga Berserk. Basically, it's like anyone who has it is destined to die a certain fate. It's kind of stupid now that I've died on heroin a few times to say I control my own fate because I didn't save myself. But I do believe to some extent I push my own narrative, and I identify with the main character a lot. Let's put it this way, the main character is fighting with a friend, you know, sword fighting, whatever, and he's about to get his arm popped out of the socket. And the other guy's like, give up. Griffith is like, Guts, give up. What are you doing? And Guts is like, no. And then pop. That's me. I take the hard way. Always.
We're almost done. Got like 3 more questions. If you had to pick one or the other, if you had to pick to fly or be invisible, which one would you pick?
Invisible.
Why?
Because I like to hide in the background, and you know, I like to engage with people, but I don't like to be the center of attention. Hello, center of attention. But
we love your personality. You're golden.
Thank you. I mean, like, I can be this person. Sorry, is this illegal?
No,
I'm like holding up my Godzilla, baby.
Yeah, we deal with this.
I call myself Godzilla too, because like I'm a mess. I'm like, so I got Godzilla, and I'm like, it's a sign.
If your family or your friends see this video, what message would you like to send to them?
I hope this was educational in some way to something, whatever it may be. I hope it opens your eye in a more creative sense and a more understanding sense than a black and white sense. Like, this may or may not be about drugs, but it doesn't have to be about that.
What are your short-term goals now?
My short-term goals are kind of long-term, but I'm working on getting my housing voucher. I'm homeless, I live in a shelter. I worked very hard to get to where I am right now, even if it feels like nowhere. But I did what I had to do, and I'm getting in that raffle, baby.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so this one to take us home. There are a lot of people in this world who judge people who are struggling with addiction. What's your message for the world?
You don't know addiction, but you should talk to someone who does.
Facts.
We're everywhere.
Right, right.
Even people who aren't addicts can identify, because you use tools and behavior to influence yourself and change whatever or not change. And that's the point. If you have any issue with anything, use these tactics.
Awesome. So is there anything you're in need of that we can help you with?
No.
Okay.
Just love more.
You hear that, guys? AML family, right? You heard that from the lady
If you're gonna
herself.
talk shit to your friend behind their back, just talk in front of them.
That's world, right?
Even if they don't like it, just talk in front of them.
Let's go. So guys, we about to wrap things up. I want to tell the lovely lady, thank you so much for opening up and being courageous. Your story matter, you matter, your message matter.
Thank you.
All right?
And you matter, and so do all you.
That's right. So guys, remember, don't be bitter, be better. Until next time, we out there. Peace out.
Quiet's driving me insane. Silence rattles in my brain. Yeah, I gotta get away. Always waiting for the fall, so I built my towers tall, wandering through these empty halls. Break the cycle there. to save me from myself. This emptiness, it hurts like hell. My good intentions let me down. I keep getting in my way. My stubborn pride will dig my grave. Please hit me hard with every step I take. Yeah, cycle down, walls are coming down. I gotta make it out. Yeah, 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 yeah.